Your favorite philosopher's favorite philosopher was a hypocrite. Don't believe me? Let me explain. If you preach something, you're likely to believe in it. Or else, guess what? Seems like you're a hypocrite, right? You're preaching something you don't even practice. We see that loses your credibility in the eyes of people, the people you're speaking with. And if you don't practice what you preach, you're a fool. So that leads us to the philosopher of the day, Seneca. Okay, don't click off if you know Seneca, because you're thinking I'm a little foolish for calling him a hypocrite. But just wait. So if you don't know Seneca, he was a Roman philosopher, born around Jesus' time, give or take a couple of years. And he was a man with the ability to speak with a sharp tongue. He rose up quickly in the Senate, and he was disliked by a few. He was sentenced to death a couple of times. But eventually he became advisor to Nero, the future emperor of Rome. And if you know Nero, you know he didn't do a good job. And you might be thinking that was the case of course, of Seneca, but it was rather the opposite, right? And according to the good old Penguin classics, the letters from a Stoic, which I'll be referencing throughout this video, the first 5 years in which Nero was actually listening to Seneca, some of the best 5 years of Rome. Like those times you have nostalgia for, but for Rome, a whole civilization, so to speak. So now imagine a man who was advised to the literal emperor of Rome. Imagine how much wealth he accumulated, how much power. So of course he did become a wealthy man, and that didn't really help against those who opposed him. So, of course, how did this man, who was renowned for his Stoic philosophy, had all this wealth, how did that happen? How did he become renowned for his Stoic philosophy, even though he had all this wealth? And if you know Stoicism, you would probably not be caught saying that Stoicism and power and wealth go together. There's no Stoic teachings that you need to have great acquisition of wealth or power. And I would agree with this in saying that wealth and power aren't inherently, Stoic philosophies. I don't think it's so black and white, and I don't know if I'd call him a hypocrite, even though I did. With philosophy, we tend to judge really quick, and especially with someone like Seneca in his time, he would have been under a lot of scrutiny because of his association with Cynic philosophy, maybe, and just how he was perceived as a Stoic. Maybe more so later, but I'll get to it. You'll see why. And philosophy is delicate, and Stoic philosophy is quite delicate in the sense that even though he acquired wealth and power, it's the way in which you hold the power that really turns it good to bad. And Seneca puts this well in his kind of rebuttal to these guys in the Penguin book. And he says, what counts, he says, is one's attitude to wealth, which is the wise man's servant and the fool's master. He, like any good Stoic, could lose all he had at any moment without being a whit less happy. This is the core of a long reply to the charge, which he states with complete frankness, that philosophers do not practice what they preach. So there you go. Seneca's rebuttal to my own assertion. There it is. It shows that there's always been scrutiny against those who say one thing and appear to do something else, right? And believe me, I've done this, and I think it wouldn't be foolish to say you've done something like this too. We want to see other people do what they say. It's an inherent kind of part of human society, I suppose, that when you witness someone and they say something, well, do they actually do it, right? And we have these ideas, these sayings around this notion, like the aforementioned practice what you preach, or do as I say, not as I do. If you don't follow what you say, you're less likely to be respected. It's just how it is, right? And honestly, I agree with this, but I think there's a fine line between not trying to do what you say and trying to do what you say. I think there's a big distinction there. And that's why I don't think we should, catch them lacking, so to speak, when it seems like someone's doing something else. We're quick to judge. It's not so black and white. Seneca lived a life as we would expect to a Stoic, at least according to him. Again, in the Penguin book, at least his own accounts of his plain diet and long life teetotalism, his hard bed and daily runs. So, he didn't live a luxurious life. It's not as black as white as I kind of tried to make it out to be at first. And in his letters to Stoic, the same book, of course, He writes to his buddy Lucilius, I'm gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, in the first paragraph of letter 5, stating, I see in myself, Lucilius, not just an improvement but a transformation, although I would not venture as yet to assure you, or even to hope, that there is nothing left in me needing to be changed. Naturally, there are a lot of things about me requiring to be built up or fined down or eliminated. Even this, the fact that it perceives the failings it was unaware of in itself before, is evident of a change for the better in one's character. In the case of some sick people, it is matter of congratulation when they come to realize for themselves that they are sick. Come on. That last sentence, I think it's very important, and I don't want to understate that. We all have problems, and even recognizing that you have those problems is a step in the right direction. You can be so critical of someone saying, "Oh, you have a problem, yet you still do it." What a fool, right? I mean, no, they all approach a problem differently, and don't be afraid that you fail, whatever it may be that you're failing to prevent an addiction, an attitude, an idea, a problem from affecting you. Don't give up. Every man fails, and this is what Seneca is saying. Even he, a man of great ethos, he fails. A man who has problems can still help others, teach others, as long as he realizes that there's change that needs to be met in himself, or otherwise he's no better than the man that doesn't change at all. A lot of Stoic philosophy still lives within our society, and some of it tries to appear original, like self-help books and other things. But Stoic philosophy laid the groundwork a long time ago. And if you've ever read those self-help books, give Stoicism a shot. It might not be for you, but if you've ever ventured in an idea, just give philosophy, not even Stoicism, a shot. It might help you, and the good books have lasted, like they've lasted the test of time for a reason. Don't forget that, right? I would say Stoicism as a philosophy is probably more necessary than ever, but if I'm being honest, I kind of think Stoicism has always been necessary. I'm gonna come out on a whim here and say that we don't live in a time of unique horror or fear. I mean, there are new circumstances, yes, but every generation has dealt with their own problems, their own set of fear that it might not work out. But every generation has been in. How you grapple with it is really up to you, but maybe Stoicism can offer up a buoy to help you. Give it a shot, try to apply it. Maybe some of the philosophies will help you. Don't worry if you ever fail, because you will, and just try to keep up the good habits and break down those bad. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I failed more than I'd like to admit, but imagine I'm speaking to myself. It's quite important. Just don't give up, man. So Stoicism may not be for you, but just give it a try. I don't want to come off as seeming perfect because I think I'm definitely far from it. I have a lot to work to do. But I think Seneca will put it better. So you're giving me advice, are you? You say? Have you already put yourself straight? Is that how you come to have time for reforming other people? No, I'm not so shameless as to set about treating people when I'm sick myself. I'm talking to you as if I were lying in the same hospital ward, about the illness we're both suffering from, and passing on some remedies. So listen to me as if I were speaking to myself. I think Seneca put it really well. I'm not a doctor, rather, I'm a patient like you and like everyone else. We all have our own problems, and maybe, just maybe, something I say can help you help yourself. So yeah. And before I end, I just want to clear my name. I actually never thought Seneca was a hypocrite. Rather, I thought it'd make a good title. And as for why he's your favorite philosopher, I also thought that Stoicism is kind of a favorite philosophy of many philosophers. Maybe, of course, I can't say everything. That'd be absurd, but it's good to generalize a little bit. Uh, but yeah, Stoicism has been there forever, and Stoicism has helped a lot. So give it a shot. I think Seneca is a great pillar in which Stoicism has been built upon. So yeah, give it a shot if you like Stoicism. Keep it up. If not, whatever, maybe you'll find something. Do you think Stoicism is still valuable today? If so, what value would you say it has? Thank you.